What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building with another banger. Now, first things first, before we get started today, I gotta go ahead and say thank God for another day and another opportunity. Now, as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today I got a very special build that I put together for y'all. Now, I'm going to be calling it the 4-way rebounding wing build in NBA 2K23, but this build is actually going to come out to a Catfish pure glass cleaner, and you're going to be able to do a little bit of everything out of today's build. Now, it really reminds me of a mix of Draymond Green as well as Dennis Rodman. Now, this build can actually come out to a few different names if you make a few minor adjustments, and that's another thing that I really like about it. So look, from the gameplay, we're going to be able to do everything from shoot, dribble, get contact dunks, but as far as when it comes down to the animations, we're definitely going to be able to maintain pro dribble moves, and then when it comes down to our attributes, the ones that are going to be able to hit a 100 plus are going to be our mid-range and three-point shot, perimeter defense, steal, as well as both the offensive and defensive rebound. So look, if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family, and last but definitely not least, I would appreciate it if everybody went ahead and commented down TG for thank God, as well as where you're tuning in from, and I'll be sure to hit y'all back with the response. So let's go ahead and get started with the creation of today's build. We're going to get started by putting it under the power forward position. Now, I know that wings are normally made out of the small forward position, but when you think of a rebounding wing from past 2Ks, this is definitely going to be the best way to go about it. Now, when it comes down to the height today, you can go with 6'8 or 6'9. I'm going to go with 6'8. As for our weight, you definitely want to be able to hold your own, so I'm going to go with 270. And then as for the wingspan, I decided to go ahead and put this all the way up to 7'6". Now, the best thing about this build when it comes down to the settings on the body is going to be the body shape of Burley. Now from here, if you followed along, we're all set to go to move forward. So let's go ahead and get started when it comes down to our attributes. And I'm going to go ahead and get started with the physicals. So when it comes down to the speed, I'm going to go with the 70. As for the acceleration, I'm going to go with the same exact thing. And then for the strength, I decided to go ahead and put this all the way up to an 86. Go with the 68 when it comes down to our vertical. And then as for the stamina, my threshold for every build is going to be a 90. Now consider the +4 from your Gatorade facility workouts or the gym rat badge, and these numbers are honestly going to look pretty well balanced when it comes down to the rest of this build. So from here, let's get started with the defense. I'm going to go with an 82 when it comes down to the defensive rebound. As for when it comes down to the offensive, I decided to go ahead and put this all the way up to an 88. Now for the block, I'm going to go with the 70, and right there we're still going to be able to unlock the anchor badge. Now, when it comes down to our steal, this is really overpowered. I'm going to go with the 95. And then when it comes down to the perimeter defense, go with an 86. And then as for the interior, I think 71 is going to be perfect. Now, for the badges that we did unlock, I like post lockdown, box out beast, also workhorse with interceptor and chase down artist. But then we get glove, anchor, as well as rebound chaser. Now moving on to the playmaking, I'm going to go ahead and put the pass accuracy up to a 78. Now when it comes down to the ball handle, I'm going to go with an 80. And then as for the speed with the ball, put this to a 70. And we're going to be able to unlock a total of 18 badges. Now my favorites are going to be ankle breaker, hyperdrive, quick first step, as well as killer combos and handles for days. Now go about the setup of this build however you would like. And if you want to make any adjustments, do it after we create the build and get the same name together. Now when it comes down to the shooting, go with an 84 when it comes down to our mid-range. And this is really interchangeable when it comes down to the three-point shot as well. For the three-point shot though, I'm going to go with the 78. And then as for the free throw, put this to a 73, and we're going to be able to get a total of 21 badges. Now I like amped as well as space creator, volume shooter with green machine, agent 3, and then right here I'm looking at limitless range on bronze. Now so far I think we're off to a pretty good start when it comes down to the offense and defensive end. When it comes down to the finishing, go with the 76 when it comes down to our close shot. As for the layup, I'm going to go with the 66. And then when it comes down to our driving dunk, I decided to go ahead and put this to an 80. Now when it comes down to the post control, go ahead and put our attributes into this area, and we should be able to reach an 80 as well for a maximum of a 99 overall. Now take into consideration the +5 that you get from buying your own boost, the additional +4 from running with the teammate that has on Hall of Fame floor general. Now the fact that the better we play, our stats are also gradually going to raise. And then once you activate your 2 separate takeovers, that's a +10 towards 2 separate areas of this build. So when it comes down to this area, we get the shot creating, sharpshooting, lockdown, and then the glass cleaning, of course. Now for my best interest on this build, I would consider first ankle breaking shots or limitless range takeover. Now I really say that when it comes down to this build, I think limitless range is going to be more important. Now when it comes down to the second one, I would say extreme clamps, or you can go ahead and pick see the future takeover. Box out wall is another good one, and this all comes down to how you see it fit for yourself. I'm going to move forward with this build. Let's go ahead and check out the comparisons to make sure that we made it correctly. And if you followed along with every single step, we should be able to get these 3 comparisons. And like I said, we have created none other than the 4-way rebounding wing, also known as the pure Catfish glass cleaner build in NBA 2K23 on next gen. But when it comes down to our attributes, do take into consideration all of the boosts that I mentioned earlier, as well as the full potential of what we're actually going to be able to do with this build, depending on how you went about the makeup. Now from here, let's go ahead and get started with the breakdown of these badges. Now when it comes down to this build for the finishing, I'm going to go ahead and start with Rise Up on Bronze, Posterizer with Core Silver Limitless Takeoff, Fast Twitch, Fearless Finisher, and Pro Touch. Now I think these badges are going to be the most important, and this is really one of the best areas to add your extra badges towards to unlock Slithery. Now when it comes down to the offensive end, I think we're really set and complete to move forward. So for the shooting, I'm going to go with Core, Bronze Limitless Range, also Agent 3. And then when it comes down to the silver tier, I'm going to go with Mini Magician, Gold Amp, Green Machine, as well as Space Creator on Hall of Fame, and then Volume Shooter. Now here's going to be the jump shots that we can pick and recreate from, and I think we honestly have a good selection to start with. Now when it comes down to the playmaking, I'm going to go with Bronze Mismatch Expert, Vice Grip, Handles for Days, Core, Silver Killer Combos, Quick First Step, Hyperdrive, and Gold Ankle Breaker. Now this badge is really going to be essential on this build, especially when it comes down to being able to ISO. This is one of my favorite badges this year, and it really works better than any other previous years when it comes down to 2K. Now when it comes down to the defensive end, I'm going to go with Bronze Box Out Beast, Anchor, Silver Rebound Chaser, Chase Down Artist with Core Gold Challenger, Glove, and Interceptor. Now this is what the build is going to be looking like, but I think overall, this is a pretty overpowered Catfish build to work with. Now let me know down below, did you recreate it exactly how I brought it to y'all, or did you make your own version? Now I just want to say thank you for everybody showing up and showing your support. And if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, smash that like button, and turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family. Last but definitely not least, y'all, comment down TG for thank God and where you're tuning in from, and I'll be sure to hit y'all back with a response. And with all that being said though, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.